PCN is brought to you in part by the following underwriters.
Welcome to PACTV Community News. This week we'll take you to Pembroke High School to meet the new Educational Access Coordinator and visit a young artist's opening reception in Kingston.
PCN brings an update story from the Habitat House in Duxbury, and we stop into the Accessible Arts Day at the South Shore Conservatory.
We learn about a Plymouth resident's Walking Across America idea, Design Corner showcases a new contributor, and Town Talk takes us to Pembroke Town Hall.
We start in Kingston at the Beale House. It's been a while since we stopped in with the folks at the South Shore Folk Music Club, so we swung by this past weekend before sound check. The all-volunteer music club has been bringing the South Shore folk music for years. We stopped in to hear what's new.
South Shore Folk Music Club has been around since 37 years ago, and it was started by a group of volunteers that included Dick Pleasance, and a board of directors started it and began having coffee houses and contra dances and all kinds of events. So we've continued the tradition and have continued having both concerts and coffee houses. Some past performers from way back included some really big people like Bonnie Raitt and Alison Krauss have played here. There's a lot of history here in terms of live performance and bringing musicians through. Our format is having concerts on the first Saturday and coffee houses on the third Friday. We also have a group of people who are volunteers. We have about 20 volunteers at this point who help coordinate all the work. Everything from managing, keeping the books, running the kitchen. So we have a pretty coordinated group getting a lot of this work done so that really it doesn't depend on any one person to keep it going. It's been very pleasant to be able to organize it from my point of view, working as president. And so what happens over time is, over the time I've been here, is you really feel like there's a sense of community here between the volunteers, the members that come regularly, and then people that just come for specific shows. They'll see people that they loved, and then they realize it's handy. It's, you know, you don't have to go to Boston, you don't have to go to Providence. You can see some major performers right in the community.
One of the things that really holds our volunteer group together is our famous potluck dinner for every concert. And a lot of us cook homemade food, and we all sit down at the table together with the musicians who are performing, and it's very, very collegial. It's always fun. We always have to cut ourselves off to start the show.
I'm a longtime volunteer for the South Shore Folk Music Club. We've been in existence for 37 years, and I've been with the club at least 27 of those years. My great interest in the club is with our coffee houses, with our more local performers. We have an open mic that happens in the middle of our coffee houses. Each performer gets to do 2 songs, and then they may be booked as a result. Additionally, we have an all open mic one night of the year where we have only open mic performers, and we get about 15 people to come out to that and share their songs with everybody. That's my main interest. In addition, we do run once a year a traditional ballad singing contest for young people from grade 4 to age 25, and so that's one of the ways that we keep in touch with our roots.
Accessible Arts Day at Duxbury's South Shore Conservatory is a day where the public is invited to learn about music, visual arts, and various movement therapies, and how they are all accessible to all, regardless of physical, emotional, or learning challenges. PCN met up with some of the instructors and the students to learn more.
Today, South Shore Conservatory is hosting the first Creative Art Therapies open house, where we have an opportunity to showcase to the community are art therapy, music therapy, and therapeutic yoga services. We have invited community members, including service providers, caregivers and families, and individuals who might need specialized service to attend our open house. Really, the arts are accessible to everyone, no matter your age or ability.
For our music therapy room today at our Creative Arts Therapy open house, one of the other music therapists and I are offering opportunities to make music actively together. So we have some shakers, we have guitar, we have piano and drums, we're singing together, and otherwise just actively making music. Music therapy is great because we can provide this safe place for expression and creativity, and we can address a wide variety of goals within that. Like I said, it's wonderful for self-expression, for self-esteem, for social interaction, that's positive, but we can also address specific goals like communication and social skills and physical skills and different things like that. So music is very flexible in that way.
Art therapy is a form of psychotherapy that is facilitated by a trained art therapist, and it is the purposeful use of art materials, art interventions, the art making process, and the resulting artwork as a primary mode of communication within a therapeutic relationship. So it can enhance a person's social, emotional, physical, psychological, and or spiritual well-being. It starts off with their senses, so it's a kind of a sensory experience through colors and feel and movement, and people are able to express their thoughts and emotions, and they're able to use the art image as symbolic speech or a visual voice or a visual narrative.
What we did today in the yoga and movement room is we just gathered people together and we wanted to give them an experience of connecting with their bodies, connecting with their breath, connecting with us as teachers, and then allowing us an opportunity to connect with them as well. And our hope was that in doing so, they'd experience maybe just a taste or a sample of the peace and the joy that can come through a yoga practice, and then take that with them as they explore the other modalities of music and art therapy. So I have a lot of anecdotes from today, but one moment that really stood out to me that sort of encapsulates the day is that moment that a teacher feels when a student makes a breakthrough. And even though we had such short little segments today, there was a student who wasn't participating a lot, and I kind of kept making fun of him a little bit, and we were joking around. And finally, he turned to the woman next to me, he said, "I was just nervous." And he stood up and he started doing all this creative movement and smiling. So just in 5 minutes, he made a breakthrough. He made a connection with us where he felt safe. He made a connection to himself where he felt like he could explore some creative movement and some singing and movement, and had that experience of bringing his art from deep inside out into the world. And for me as a teacher, that's the biggest gift I could ever ask for.
Plymouth resident Frank Mand is known for his excellent reporting for the Old Colony newspaper. He's also respected for his incredible community-engaging ideas, such as the Community Tree, which had over 70 organizations represented with ornaments on the town holiday tree. One year, he took a sunrise picture every day from locations all over Plymouth, connecting people and places. He then had all those people meet at Plymouth Plantation at the New Year's sunrise to celebrate how many lives it touched. Hundreds came out on that chilly morning, and Frank was touched and inspired with a new idea. He now has decided to plan a walk across America as he focuses on what home means to people, and he's going to connect it all back to Plymouth. PCN met up with Frank at his unusual kickoff event held at Pilgrim Hall Museum.
This is a test run. It's a kickoff. It's a symbolic start. It's a dry run. It's trying to figure out if there's any support in the community, which I need to try to pull off a walk across the country that I'm calling Walking Home. This is 1,000 days before I intend to start from the West Coast heading east. And so I thought I needed to be a little more overt, a little more public about that I'm going to do this, because I'm really going to need a lot of people's support, but more importantly, I need to have people's engagement in Plymouth, because it really is about Plymouth. It's tied in a little bit with 2020. That is, I'll leave in 2018 and come back at the cusp of that celebration in 2019. I walked essentially from home to here, which would be like the daily regimen that I would have coming across the country to do that in 365 days. And I'm camped out on the grass here in front of Pilgrim Hall. How symbolic. I'm hoping to have 365 people associated with every day, one with every day, mostly Plymouth people. And it's all about home. It's all about my evolving awareness that I love this community, and wanted to do something both to focus on how wonderful it is, but also to talk about and think about the notion of home for all Americans and get a little taste of it as I cross the country. But a lot of people from Plymouth have said they want to walk with me at some phase, some place that I cross the country. I'm looking forward to that. I'm hoping to walk with other people that maybe have some expertise. I hope to have maybe a band or two join me and sing for a day. When home is right, when you live in a community that you really feel joy to live in every day, then you've been given a great gift, and I want to explore that a little bit.
Well, he is a really, really unique individual.
Yes.
I mean, he has done so many different unique things for this community. What makes him tick?
I don't know, but when I hooked up with him and heard about this tour that he's doing, I'm like, I just have to do a story, and I'll follow him throughout this whole process, I guess. But he's just, people really respond to him, and just from the other events that he's done, he sometimes starts off slow and then it just builds. So I'm really excited to follow this story.
I remembered seeing his pictures that he took of the sunrises, and then the group shot of everyone. It was amazing he got that many people to come out.
Yep.
He's a
and he
real
never knows.
trendsetter.
He never knows. And then even that night at Pilgrim Hall, you know, he was sat there waiting. He's like, I don't know if anyone's going to show up. And probably, you know, I don't know how many, like 25, 30 people came because they follow him. They believe in him. He's got something.
Every community should have a Frank Mand. PACTV has added a new member to our education team. And when he's not here in our home office, he's working with the students at Pembroke High School. We stopped by to get a day in the life of our new educational access assistant.
I went to college in Champlain College up in Burlington, Vermont. I was a communications major, but I specialized more in video and audio work. Coming out of college, what really worried me was my reel, because I didn't have much to show for what I'd done in college, so that's why I was kind of bouncing between jobs for a while. I actually worked as a camp counselor at Kingston Recreation. And I was basically helping them with custodial work since one of their workers was only working part-time at that point. And my boss was actually the one that wanted to, through PACTV, she wanted to do more for Kingston Recreation. And one day I came in and she had a job description on the desk for me. So she was just like, here, this looks like something you'd be really interested in. So she's actually the reason I'm working at PACTV right now. So typical day, what I usually do is I show up like 30 minutes before my first student. It's a rotating schedule for Pembroke High School, so they're always rotating like what class they have first. So sometimes I'll have to come in at 7 a.m. Some days I won't come in until 11. But they're usually, the two students I have are split up throughout the day. So the schedule kind of changes depending on how long I'm at Pembroke High School. Usually I head back to PACTV to just catch up because I do have a coordinator. But I come in, if I have a project that I have to work on, an edit that I'm working on, I'll usually work on that. And plan for when a student comes in. I'll send them off on a project. They're usually editing, one of them's usually editing Titan TV News. The other one, I'm just really running through what else they want to learn before they graduate. On Thursdays, we film for Titan TV News. We have the anchor come in. We actually do the set script. But usually, I'll usually have every student come in at least once at the end of the day and say, is there anything you need help on? If I say no, then they're free to go, but if I have something, they can stop by for 30 minutes, work on that. First of all, this class is a really good way if you're going into video to grow a reel, because we let them get their hands on everything that we send out on the channel. So everything that they make, they can use. So that's really what this class is all about. At the same time, it's about learning, but at the same time, it's growing, being able to use something that you can use further in your career. The longer I work at this job, I'll really get a sense of what I want to work in, whether it's production or moving into teaching more. I've talked to the principal about where they look to go with this program. So that's something I'm always looking forward to. But the general plan for the rest of this year at least is to ride out what we already have. We're going to continue to ride out with Titan TV, grow it as much as possible, but then moving into next school year, plus over the summer, we're going to really try and grow more.
The South Shore Habitat for Humanity is in the process of building a home in the town of Duxbury and is accepting applications for potential homeowners. PCN headed over to the construction site to find out more about the application process. We also spoke with the Habitat for Humanity homeowner from another town on the South Shore to give us some insight on her experience.
South Shore Habitat for Humanity is a nonprofit organization. We change lives. We work with individuals to come and to have a simple, decent, affordable home that will allow them to prosper and to be part of the community. South Shore Habitat right now is building in Duxbury. We're building a 3-bedroom, 1.5-bath home that we're looking to invite a family to become part of this community, and we're opening our application process. So those interested in perhaps becoming part of this community should call us for more information. So if you are interested in an opportunity with South Shore Habitat, there is a set of criteria. We are an independent nonprofit organization, but we have certain guidelines. So we follow the HUD area median income. Individuals must make less than a particular amount based on their family size. Our guideline is on the website. So if you're a family of 4, you have to meet under a particular amount. It is also, the best part is that our mortgages need to have you have an annual income less than 30% spent on housing.
I think that people have a misconception of what it means to get the house. I think that just the housing and affordable housing market kind of has a stigma with that, and it's not that at all. I had a lot of people approach me and ask me like, oh, so you just got given a house? And it's like, no, not at all. It provides you with an opportunity where you have, you know, an interest-free mortgage, which is huge. So I don't think that people quite understand exactly what it means, but you are very much a homeowner. Everything is in your name. And Habitat itself, the raising awareness, once you become a part of the family, you get more of an understanding of exactly how it works, but it's more of a family than I would say anything else.
If you're interested in owning this home here in Duxbury, you do not have to live within the town limits. South Shore Habitat for Humanity serves 35 cities and towns. This is our current building project, so we invite any interested person who is looking for home ownership to get involved with us and to contact us.
The Kingston Library has a rotating exhibit of artists from all over the community. This month, they have an unusual presentation as the artist herself is only 14 years old. PCN stopped into her opening reception to meet this young and talented girl and showcase her work.
Have a countdown and we write it on the board.
So most of my artwork is centered around the ocean, and obviously we live near the ocean, so the inspiration comes really quickly. I take lessons with different people who have gardens, and we venture around Plymouth in lots of landscapes and outdoor things. I have a bunch of different teachers, some of them being Heidi Mayo from Top of the World Studio and Terry Cole from the Plymouth Art Guild. They've all helped me along the way. I've also taken lessons at the Worcester Art Museum, and they've all kind of contributed to the artist that I am today. Any advice that I have is not to be afraid with what you have, just put it out there, and it doesn't have to be perfect. Use your emotion and your feelings and paint whatever's around you. I'm really into pastel painting, so any and all of my pastel teachers that have contributed to what I do today, they're all amazing.
Olivia has been taking art with me for the past couple of years. She has always been extremely talented, and I've worked with her. In my courses, she followed along with what the other students were doing, all the projects that we had in the course. But at a certain point, I realized that she was kind of whipping through the projects very quickly, and obviously just the level of, or the quality of her work was still amazing, even though she was able to do it very quickly. So I started having to come up with individual projects for her. And that was just, as a teacher, just amazing. A great experience for me working with an individual on developing her skills and what she's interested in art. So over the years, I've just seen her produce amazing work. I mean, last year she created a whole mural on her own within a matter of a week. Seeing her work today all together like this is amazing. Just, like I said, incredible talent, and so hardworking and so passionate about art. In addition to being an incredible artist, she is so involved in everything at school. Like, I mean everything. Like, she is the vice president of the Roots and Shoots Club, which I'm the moderator for. So she's just very involved. I'm sure, you know, doing the science fair, and she's involved in so many different activities at school. How she's able to balance out everything and also manage to create all this amazing artwork is, I don't understand it. It's unbelievable. So just a great person and a great artist.
I learned that it's not as easy as I thought to have my own show. I learned that I have a portfolio and that it's hard to put it together, but in the end, it's definitely all worth it. Come see my art show. It's up through the rest of March at the Kingston Public Library.
Wow, Olivia is poised, she's articulate, she's incredibly talented. What a wide variety of artwork, too.
She's really
different mediums.
Really inspiring to see a young person
Wow.
really fill up the wall, you know. I certainly couldn't do it with my artwork, but it's
amazing.
a lot of artwork.
Good for you, Olivia.
Our Design Corner segment is happy to announce a new contributor to the segment, Sandra Murphy of Classic Design in Duxbury. Sandra's first topic is prepping your home for sale. PCN met up with Sandra as she demonstrates tips for prepping your bedroom.
Hi, I'm Sandy Murphy of Classic Design. I'm here today with PCN's Design Corner. I do interior design and home staging, and I'm here to give you tips on how to get your home sold. You know, it's not just about picking your underwear off the floor, although that's a good place to start. It's really more about what buyers want today, which is a fresh new look in a home. So if you haven't done any decorating in about 10 years, it's time to get some things started prior to listing. It will pay off. So what I've done is give this room a theme, and the theme is Summer Like Spa Retreat. Whenever you design a room, always think of a theme in mind, because then your elements pull together much better and the room will come out much better looking. So I started out with wall color, and this is called Spa Blue. I changed out and upholstered the headboard with a currently popular design. It's a medallion style print. And then I added this element above the headboard because it adds sparkle when the light hits it. Purchased classic style lamps and contemporary lamp shades. Another item that's back in favor with design are chandeliers in bedrooms. So I added this for sparkle, glamour, and a touch of romance in a master bedroom. So this bedroom set came with 2 mirrors. They were tall with columns and a pediment top. That was dated, and I replaced it with this contemporary round mirror that has a currently popular brushed nickel finish. I also changed out my old perfume tray from this finish to, again, a brushed nickel finish on the new one. So my armoire, the only change I made here was just to change the fabrics, and now the colors do relate to the room. Because I have the theme of summer, I came across this beautiful shell and had to add it to the armoire just as a touch of fun. So I went with these draperies for the room because I love the detail on the bottom. The colors all relate to the room, and they're also classically elegant. But I didn't want fussy formal for this room, and because the top is called a grommet top, it's contemporary. So again, the style mix is contemporary with traditional. It's an updated look that everyone's using today. I added this artwork because, again, it's mirrored and it reflects light. It also carries out my summer theme. Then I came across this uplight, and it had both colors of the room, and it also repeats the element of the medallion style, which is on my headboard. When you repeat design elements in a room, that makes for a very successful design. And lastly, I came across these glass balls, which I call bubbles, and to me that added a touch of whimsy to my design. When redecorating your rooms, don't be afraid to add a vintage piece you might have had in your home. This piece belonged to my aunt, and I loved it. So I incorporated it into the master bedroom, recovered it with this brown fabric, and had bolsters added to it. So when buyers look for a home, what they do is they have a checklist in mind of what they'd like. However, they don't buy on a checklist, they buy on emotion. So your home, if it's clean, neat, and attractively decorated, it's going to make people fall in love with it, and that's what you want. And when they walk into the home and they say to their real estate agent, wow, this feels like home, that's your buyer. So good luck to you. I hope you do a wonderful job in getting your home sold. I want to thank you for listening to me, Sandy Murphy of Classic Design. And again, this is PCN's Design Corner.
Town Talk from Pembroke takes us to Pembroke Town Hall for an early spring update with Town Administrator Ed Thorne.
Well, hi folks, this is Ed Thorne, Town Administrator in Pembroke, providing another update for the activities that we'll be looking at in the month of March and early April. Basically, this time of year for almost all towns, it's budget time and getting ready for the annual town meetings. Our town meeting this year will be pushed back about almost 2 weeks to May the 10th. So that's going to give us a little bit more time to prepare the budget and to continue our negotiations with the various town unions, because all of their contracts are up in June. So basically we're looking at putting together the budget for April. I've been working closely with the advisory committee and department heads in finalizing a $60 million budget and finding out the needs of the departments and the requirements that we're going to be facing as far as the town's concerned with some mandatory expenditures. That being said, while that's going on, the town is also gearing up for the spring and some of the various projects that we want to do from a recreational standpoint and also from an infrastructure standpoint. We're going to be making some more improvements at some of our parks and recreational areas as well as our beaches. We'll be putting in a new boat ramp at the town landing on Oldham Street. That'll be worked on before the boating season gets underway. So we're confident that we'll have a new facility for our boaters, at Oldham Pond. And then of course, one of the big projects that's looming on the horizon for the spring is the reconstruction of Route 14. We anticipate that PA Landers, who's got the contract for that $8 million project, will be meeting with the various town officials in the immediate future to go over what their plans are for the construction work. Right now it's believed that they're going to be starting at both ends of Route 14, the Hanson line, and also the intersection of Route 14 and 53. So that's certainly going to be a big project that the town will be facing in the spring and probably for about 2 years to follow. So those are the things that we're looking at right now in the immediate future for the town of Pembroke.
Thanks for watching the show tonight. We hope you enjoyed it. If you have a story idea, please email us or fill out a story submission form at our website.
Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter for links and information. PCN stories can also be found on YouTube on the PACTV Community News channel.
We'll see you next week for more local stories.